K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the Black Yule Brenner, Sadiq, and I would like to say a big giant thank you to Marcus Guyton for pulling the strings behind the scenes for everything that he does. I also want to say hello to you guys on YouTube once again. Thank you for waiting for us to go live. And hello to everybody on the podcast, all 65 of you. Thank you so much for listening.
65 platforms.
65 not 65 people, but 65 platforms doing it big.
Yeah.
So hello to you
As long as
guys.
we don't use the N-word.
We won't do that today. And to you guys on Facebook, the Ride or Die audience, the live audience, the other side of the conversation.
Yes.
On the Demetra K Show, it is the purpose to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all the things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people. And so we are going to talk about Mr. Andrew Gillum.
Who? Who's Andrew Gillum?
We're going to talk about Andrew Gillum, and of course we're going to continue the coronavirus conversation. As we know, we are in the midst of a pandemic. And there's new developments all the time, depending on what state you live in. Of course, we have new developments here, but we'll save that for the second part of the show. So anyway, I want to get started and talk about Mr. Andrew Gillum. So for those of you guys who don't know who he is, Andrew Gillum was the mayor of Tallahassee, Florida. He, in 2018, was running for the governorship of Florida. He lost.
Of course.
And so since then, he has started an initiative to register voters to help. Right, sort of like Stacey Abrams. She has the Fair Chance or something like that initiative in regards to voter suppression. And so Andrew Gillum's, I forget the name, it slips my mind, but their purpose is to help defeat Donald Trump and the Republicans for the most part. I'm sure there's a little bit more to it, but on the surface, that's what it does. And so that's what he's been doing now. What he's also been doing, and that's why I call it the curious case of Andrew Gillum, because the other day, I think it was Friday, if I'm not mistaken, he was found in a hotel room with a male escort. I'm trying to keep it clean.
Clutch my pearl. What? Mr. Family Man?
Yes.
Family Value?
Yes. He was found in a hotel room with a gay male escort, I guess, you know. I'm just trying to, give y'all all the details.
Unbelievable. What a surprise.
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not, actually.
I mean, not just because of him, but it's like...
No, I'm not.
Because it was not too long ago, we heard of a Republican senator somewhere who was anti-gay, LGBTQ stuff.
Come to find out.
Yeah, he comes out of the closet. So anyway, Andrew Gillum was found in a hotel room with a gay male escort. The escort is also a porn star, and these are his words. It was on his profile. Now, it was a third party, a third friend who actually the room was in his name. He showed up at 11 o'clock at night and found, I forget his name, the gay male escort. And Andrew Gillum kind of out of it, if you will. So the escort opened the door, and then he said shortly after he opens the door, he passes out. And so the guy who shows up, the third party, calls the ambulance and police, and then Andrew Gillum was in the bathroom throwing up. So no arrest or anything like that. Is that a gunshot? They after us?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No arrest or anything like that was made. But Andrew Gillum says that he was not doing, and it was meth is what it was. They found bags of methamphetamine. And so he was saying, I don't do drugs. I wasn't under the influence. I had too much to drink. I was actually in town for a friend's wedding. Now the male escort was like, well, I didn't know about any wedding. He never mentioned to me anything about a wedding.
Okay.
And so this particular guy, as you guys can ascertain, gets paid to, because they call them escorts, but we know they have to legally call it escorting. Right. They can't just say, I'm out here, hoeing for money.
Which they should say, because that's more truthful.
Well, because it's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal to say, I'm out
Which
here.
Which is very hypocritical. You could, if you do it on camera, it's legal. You do it off camera, it's illegal. It's very hypocritical in America. It's
right.
crazy.
So Mr. Gillum is now asking for privacy and he's going to spend a couple of weeks with his family. You know, I'm sure, and I should also say, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments, I should also say that he, being Andrew Gillum, is married with 3 children. He's been married since 2009.
Yeah, I got a question when you get done about this.
Yeah, and so the other part that I want to tack on to this, if you will, because I don't want to just be like, hey, let me tell y'all, since my tea, and today I got plenty of tea, y'all.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm bringing this up is, so I don't believe that anybody is without fault. I don't believe there's a perfect person walking planet Earth. I think everybody has something they wouldn't want anybody to know, whether how big or small it is. But when we come to somebody like leadership, what you got in your pocket, man? What's in your pocket?
No, you said big or small. I'm good.
Or small.
Exactly.
Anyway.
I like to underwhelm.
I just what I want to know is this from you guys. Why is it that when we hear things, especially like some of our black leaders, because I've seen a lot of us defend him or say, oh, we shouldn't be judging him, and like I posted about it, I wasn't judging him, I wasn't passing judgment, I was just like, hey,
but you can have an opinion.
What's really going on here? You know, that was my thing. I wasn't saying, oh, he's going to hell. Ooh, he's a bad person. But I also made a comment saying, well, wow. And again, I'm going to say this because I got to clarify this for y'all. I do not support Donald Trump at all. But what I did say was, had it been Donald Trump, oh my God.
Yes. Absolutely.
It would have been, ooh, he this, he that, he this, the devil, he this. But when it came down to somebody, and listen, I don't know a whole lot about Andrew Gillum, so I'll concede that point. Because I've heard a lot of people say he's done a lot of good things. I'm looking.
So has Corrine Brown.
You know what?
They're both from Florida.
I'm looking. I'm looking. So I don't want to say he hasn't done any good things. I'm not saying he hasn't. But I just, to me, it's funny that, well, you know, we just don't want to cast no judgment and just that and the other. It's like, at some point in time, we got to be able to hold people accountable, right? I'm not saying he should never be able to run for office or he shouldn't be elected, because it sounds like he was being vetted to be a cabinet member. And it's funny because at first he was a Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders supporter, but I guess Bernie Sanders recently said something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but so he admonished Bernie Sanders and said, oh, well, he shouldn't have said that. And so basically, he's going to have to rethink his endorsement.
No, he got the call from the DNC,
exactly.
And they said, hey, if you want to be anything and have a future in this party,
right. So it sounds like he kind of started throwing Bernie Sanders under the bus a little bit, you know, from what I read. Now, y'all want to know my opinion before I get you guys' comments? Y'all want to know what my opinion is?
What is your opinion?
My opinion is this. I believe that Andrew Gillum was set up. Now, I don't mean that they drug him, or, you know, dragged him rather, into the hotel room and said, here, you know, sit here and shove these, you know, whatever, I don't know how you do.
Shove these hot dogs. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't know what kind of, how you even do math. So I don't know if, and my niece may be watching on YouTube, so
okay,
maybe watching the hot dogs. Okay. Hey, baby.
Right.
But I do believe that he was set up and that they knew what his vices were. Perhaps, me and Donovan was joking about this earlier. You guys ever seen the Tom and Jerry meme where Tom is the cat, where he's going to call the police?
As a matter of fact, that is my thing on Facebook.
Okay.
Remember, Inland Empire Farmer. That's my thing.
I think somebody tipped him off. But maybe it was a third friend. Somebody tipped him off and said, hey, you know, Andrew Gillum is in a hotel room with a gay prostitute, for lack of better words, and right now they're doing meth.
Right.
Or
there's drugs available.
Yeah, doesn't sound like nobody did any testing or anything like that. That's what I think. I think for whatever reason, because again, because I kind of want those people kind of put 2 and 2 together slowly but surely.
Sure.
We had this initiative to try to register as many voters to beat Trump and
especially with a lot of the former convicts getting their rights back.
That and a lot of the voter suppression is a fact. Voter suppression is going on. Maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist here. Maybe it was a ploy to stop him.
Right, absolutely. let me jump in here real
Go
quick.
ahead, and I'm gonna get to you guys'
Now, I
comments.
just have a question for a lot of people out there. You know, 'cause I'm still speculating on it.
Okay, we all
I
are.
have never been to a wedding with my wife, and she is not in my presence at all times.
That's what a lot of people have been saying.
Okay,
And you
yeah.
normally a married man goes to a
Yeah,
wedding.
with your spouse and your family.
Yes.
And I never have gone to a place where my wife or my kids aren't in tow with me at an event that we're there to celebrate our friends.
And
Get together.
if the other thing, we're just putting two and two together
Mhm.
here. If you're at a wedding and you're with two buddies, wouldn't they know that you're going to a wedding? Because the friends are like,
Right.
we didn't know he was going to no wedding.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that I have to say, in Mr. Gillum's defense, the way that the press is spinning it, just because there's drugs in the room doesn't necessarily mean he knew that there were drugs in the room. It's almost like if you're in a car and your friend gets pulled over in the passenger and he might have some marijuana in him, and you're just riding with your friend. Now there's a marijuana bust. You didn't know. So I'm just saying, I'm speculating again, giving him the benefit of the doubt, as in regards to the meth. He did not necessarily, might not have known that the meth was in it. Because just because it's on the floor doesn't mean it's his. As a prosecutor, that would be a hard case to prove. If nobody's
And
owning
that's
up
the
to
male
it.
prostitute says, yes, I gave it to him.
Right, but then the ownership of the drug is the male prostitute.
Okay, but is taking meth legal? Is
Yeah.
it?
It is.
How?
In your own home, yeah. See the
Is
meth.
it's
See the meth.
I'm talking about the kind that they boil
They
up
boil up
in the hills.
the one up there in
Yeah,
Beaumont.
Banning and Beaumont. I'm talking about
Right.
and the hills have eyes type of thing. Is meth legal?
Yes, in your own home,
No,
it
it's
is
not.
legal.
Damn
It
it.
is legal.
Doing methamphetamine,
Is illegal,
drugs
yes.
is illegal, okay? It's illegal. So regardless if they found it on the floor or whatever, if he was doing the drugs, it's illegal.
Right, but I'm just saying in regards to how they spent it in the news, they make it seem like he was taking the drugs and that isn't
I mean,
proven.
right. Listen, and before I get you guys a comment, this is what I think too. I think, and me and Donovan was talking about this earlier, Donovan and I think that we think that he didn't get arrested because maybe they said to him, we got the goods.
And we got the picture.
Now we need you to,
And we got the
we
video.
got the video.
Right.
Now we need you to play ball. We need you to lay low. Otherwise, we're going to have this male prostitute get on there with TMZ and all these other people and say, oh, let me tell you what happened. Oh. And then I told him to stop.
Well, hark back about 25 years ago, what happened to Eddie Murphy? Picked up that transvestite.
Mhm.
I was just giving the lady a ride. And look how his career kind of careened at that point.
Right. So hello, y'all. How y'all doing? Hey, Nancy. Hello, Donna.
Hey, Nancy.
Hey, Charles. And you say, I saw that Andrew Gillum story, and he was lucky that the coronavirus is absorbing the entire news cycle, or his acts of indiscretion, drugs, and closet homosexual socializing on the low would have been a huge portion of the news cycle. Yes.
Well,
man.
Well, here's the thing also,
if you don't
Charles.
do some dirt, do it now.
Yeah, well, here's the thing too, Charles. With, the Google and internet, even if you ran for something, the opposition is going to pull that up and it's going to come up. Because what's the first picture you saw when you pulled it up on your
When I pulled it up on to look for it as a news story, it was a shirtless picture of the dude, the male escort, all, buffed out. And he's got a lot of pretty, there's no question.
He's an attractive guy.
No, I don't find him attractive. But it's no question the dude is
alternative lifestyle.
He's part of the alternative lifestyle. Okay, so I think it's a matter of time before. I think Andrew Gillum is now going to play ball.
Right now, Andrew Gillum is saying that he knew this guy, or
he said they were friends.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They have known each other less than a year or something like that.
No, it wasn't even that long. It
Okay.
sounded like they met recently.
Okay, gotcha.
And yes, Charles, it was methamphetamines. Hey, Ray, what's happening? He says, laugh out loud. Whatever he did, he picked the right time to do it. Ain't nobody paying attention. Absolutely. So if you're going to, like I said, you're going to do something, do it right now.
Yeah.
While everybody's freaking out over the coronavirus.
But what do you say to your wife? What do you say?
And the other part of this now I sound like Wendy Williams with her damn body.
Mm-hmm. Drop the T, girl.
I think maybe his wife knew, because this is not the first.
Yeah, politicians, and what's that guy?
Well, with him though, this is not the first round of speculating the allegations
right.
with Andrew Gillum of him, being homosexual, if you will. Of course, people are going to say all kind of stuff, but this is kind of a little too close to home. you know?
Well, those urges are strong. Sometimes those urges will get you in trouble. I mean, if you're trying to hide it. I mean, you got to be who you are.
I just feel like you should just be who you are,
Right.
right? If that's who you are, just own it. You know,
Own
because
it.
if you're a high profile figure such as he is, and it's also, I guess he's a correspondent on CNN or something
Yeah,
like
he's
that
a
too.
contributing.
Yeah, so he has a lot of things that he's doing, but okay. And Adonis said that's going to be an interesting conversation with his wife.
Yeah.
I tend to think maybe she knew. How do you not know? I mean, I don't like to speculate on people's mannerisms.
Yeah.
I've seen some things.
Well-
I was like,
well, you know,
maybe he is. You
Yeah,
know.
well, the funny thing is, you know, and it just seems to bother me how women, like, let's say this guy's a known gay guy. He's known. And the women would be like, well, I can change him. You know, it's like, even to take that stance.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not against gay people. I'm against bisexual, these people who don't want to make a decision, because that's where all the diseases are coming from.
The down low lifestyle.
Yeah, the down low lifestyle. So if you're on this side of the fence, stay on that side of the fence. Make a decision.
Right. Hey, brother, I'm with you. Hey, what's happening? He says, I don't care for Andrew, not because he does drugs or if he is gay. He is a Negro peon. A self-proclaimed capitalist, much to do about nothing, not even worth conversation. Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I don't care what his lifestyle is.
Right.
I'm more interested in, you know, us not really wanting to hold certain people in our community accountable. You know. Hey, Jonelle, what's going on with you? And Charles says they smoke it in a glass pipe. Oh. See, and listen, I've never done any type of drugs, narcotics, any of that kind of stuff. So I'm like as green as anything right now in regards to drugs.
Well, it seems like he wasn't smoking in it. Never mind, go ahead. They didn't find any pipe paraphernalia. What I just read.
Hey, Terry, you say his life and career are over, and I'd be surprised if he recovers from his drugs. Well, this is kind of what I think. I don't think it's over, and you got somebody's doing the line now, but I don't think his
Which doesn't make sense when it's going to be raining.
yeah, it's like raining right now, so whatever, floats your boat. But I don't think his career is going to be over simply because, you know, he's a Democrat, and those are the agendas that they promote, the LGBTQ type of stuff. And, you know, I think, in fact, if he does come out of the closet, I think he'll be held as a hero.
Yes, of the LGBT.
Even though, you know, he's got a wife and kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wait, shameless plug.
Hey, Sydney.
Shameless plug.
Evolve! To win, you gotta lose fear.
That's it. By Terry V. Beard. Go to the website. Website
right.
is evolve.com.
Evolvegear.com. And Jonelle says, it's like Marion Barry to a degree, being caught in a similar fashion minus the male on male. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, you know. My thing is, it's like all of a sudden, you're doing your thing, whatever that thing is, and, you know, well, they OD'd, so it wasn't like the police showed up. I think maybe, I don't know, to me, I think it's weird. I think it's weird.
Politics make strange
Maybe they got
bedfellows.
but maybe they got a hold of some bad batch or something,
Right.
and, you know, and
But, okay, you're down there with your wife to attend a wedding.
he wasn't with his wife.
I know. Where's your wife during this time?
Maybe she had the coronavirus, and she was self-quarantined at the house.
There's a picture of Andrew Gillum, I guess a couple years ago, and his wife was pregnant. He's like, you know, very beautiful picture.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at that and you're saying, you're going to throw all of that away?
Listen, there's a lot of men and women too,
Sure.
but throw away good people over the bull cocker. And Adonna says, many men in politics get married because they need a beard to progress. Look at Charlie Chris, Florida governor.
Right.
Yeah, wasn't he the one?
Yeah, he's the one.
It's
He's
a
on.
but you're right. It looks better on paper, I guess, and to the public if you have a wife. And this is going to sound really silly coming from me, but you notice like a lot of politicians, men especially, they're really handsome and everything. But then they got this wife who's kind of like,
Yeah, she looks like Tracy, you know, like just real kind of rough, feminine, but like plain Jane-ish.
Yeah,
you know?
so that does kind of
She's
make you
not Becky,
wonder.
she's Tracy.
It makes you kind of wonder, but that's it anyway.
But no, but that's a good point, Donna, because even in the military career, but when like for me being an officer, they want you to, by the time you become a captain, they want you to be married. and you use that example for your troops and
Right.
stuff like that, and it does
Right.
check a box for
In
promotion.
intact
Mhm.
household to be the example, right?
Right.
Hey, Richard, what's happening?
And I wasn't married at the time.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I know you better quit lying. You were married 2 times.
Right, but at the time, for
Right.
promotion-wise, it didn't.
Right, you was out there home,
Yeah.
living your best life.
And most black female officers are already married, so it was really hard for me unless I wanted to sell out, which I wasn't going to do.
Richard says the whole point was that somebody OD'd. That is why cops were called. True.
Yeah.
I never saw it as a Gillum was doing meth. The police report said inebriated. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, maybe we'll never know. It doesn't sound like any test or anything like that was done. I think that had that been anybody else in the room with meth, I think they probably would have gotten arrested,
Mhm.
you know. But I think Andrew Gillum is, you know, he has a little bit of privilege, and so he wasn't arrested. Because somebody asked the police why wasn't there any arrest, and they said, well, we don't always have to arrest people.
Unless you're politically connected.
Yeah, I mean, so inebriated can mean a whole lot of things.
But here's
right?
my question for you, though.
But that, you're right. That is why they were called, because the friends showed up at 11 at night and saw that they were both in distress, if you will.
Let me ask you this question, though.
Sure.
How do you think this is going to affect his standing in the black community, Democratic black
It won't.
community?
And I'm not saying it should. I mean, like I said, people make mistakes.
Mhm.
People do things. I'm not one of those people. It depends on what you did now. I'm not one of those people think you should just nail people to the cross and they're just done forever. I think people can be redeemed, you know. And so, was he even doing anything wrong? It could have really just been his friend. You know, it really could have just been
what
his
if he got
friend.
caught with a hooker in the room?
Now that's when the story would have been different, you know. Cindy says, hey fam, can't get caught with a gay man in a hotel room. Luckily he wasn't dead.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, it sounds like Andrew was having his own issues, and the male prostitute, now, forgive me, I don't know his name, which is why I'm likening him to that. Well, that's what he says he is.
Mhm.
I mean,
Male porn star.
yeah, the porn star. What if the friend, the third party didn't show up? It could have been a homicide, not even a homicide, but, you know, an accidental death or whatever, and then he'd have more questions to answer to. Now, Andrew did apologize to the people of Florida, saying, I'm sorry, I'm paraphrasing that, you know, I never should have been in that situation or whatever, you know, and he, again,
He's human, like everybody
yeah,
else.
he is, you know, people make mistakes, you know, it happens, you know. And Donnie says she knew, I think the wife knows as well, if in fact he is homosexual.
Trapped in the closet.
Part 55. And Charles says, amp up the R. Kelly trapped in the closet or trapped. Hey, OG, what's happening? It says, do you think the coronavirus is going to help Trump get reelected?
No.
I think a lot of people are seeing that he dropped the ball.
Yeah, the government has to lead on something like this. They knew that this coronavirus broke out in China back in November. That should have been the wake-up call for the government to do what they got to do. Trump administration cut 80% of the CDC budget, which these are the people that sit there and they constantly find antiviruses and things to do this. And he's not leading even now. The governor's really leading. So in regards to him being reelected, is this going to help him? No. But is he going to be reelected? Yes. But it ain't going to be, you know, because of this, it's going to stop it.
I think it's going to be reelected if they put Biden on the ticket.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. If they go with Biden, that's Hillary Clinton 2.0.
Right.
We're done.
And Jonelle says vote straight. And Donna says the agreement has always been discreet. His wife may be pissed that he was careless. Yeah, I agree with you on that. A lot of wives in that situation, if that is a situation, they do know. Just don't put me in a situation to where I'm now having to answer for your behavior.
But as a woman, though, would I want to sleep with my husband knowing that he's sleeping with strange men?
Hey, you know what though? What is it? Having a piece of man is better than having no man at all.
With all these men out here, these women act like there's no other men.
Okay, this is where we're going to take a sidebar here. We're going to take a sidebar.
Right.
Because I've been wanting to talk about relationships for a while because people ask me to talk about it. I want to take a sidebar. You said with all these men out here. And I'm not talking about none of y'all. Okay? I ain't talking about none of y'all. But you're saying with all these men out here, what you didn't say was
All this D.
with all these good men out here.
Right. Okay.
So I'm saying, you know, there's a lot of women, and I'm not saying it's right, that they settle for a piece of a man rather than a whole man, because there's a lot of men out there, not y'all, a lot of men out there who ain't on the straight and narrow, a lot of men on that bullshit.
Okay.
So there's a lot of women like, you know, I mean, I've talked to some women who say, well, I'm going to stay with him because I know what I'm getting with him. If I get with somebody else, I have to start over. So maybe there's not a lot of quality men out there.
Okay. I'll agree with that.
Yeah? Okay. We'll get back to that. And Charles, he says, we know Obama will thank him if he comes out of the closet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he will be held as a hero if he doesn't. Even though, you know, he's got this, like I said, wife and kids who's just like, sorry,
Yeah.
this is who I am now.
Yeah.
And Cindy says, nope, I live in the state of New Jersey. The governor, McGreevey,
Yeah.
he never recovered. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
one that got caught up too, right?
Yeah, and I remember when he announced the horror on his wife's face. She did not even know.
I just really think, I honestly think there's more to the story, but I have to agree with Donovan that I think it was more like, okay, we got the goods, now we need you to play ball.
Mm-hmm.
All this voter registration stuff you got going on, we're going to need you. Because watch, this is going to be the telltale moment here is if you don't see him talking about that as much.
But here's a caveat. You would think that it would be the Republicans that would have blackmailed him. I almost guarantee you it's a Democratic Party.
Well, you'll never know. You know what I mean? The only thing you will
To
know
control him.
is what he was doing that night.
Exactly.
Because you know the escort is already like, wait a minute, that's not what I was told. That's not what he told me. I didn't know about no wedding, so it's like, wait a minute.
It kind of reminds me of you guys remember the movie Trading Places, Eddie Murphy? Remember when they were trying to blackmail Dan Aykroyd and they got Jamie Lee Curtis to come in?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, baby. You know, I mean, classic stuff, you know? Those men wanted to have sex with me!
Hey, Eric. And Cindy says, so our boy Donovan was a hoe after 2 marriages. In between, after, before, you know, he was...
No, wait. And that's the worst word to use. I was just very popular at that time. At that time, I was very popular. I was just very popular.
Is that what we call it now, popular?
I was very popular. Young pilot, you know, got myself together. I'm traveling the world. I'm in this Top Gun flight suit. You know, hey. You know, and the sad thing is, sisters wouldn't give me the time of day. But everybody else did, but I don't. I stuck up my sisters. So.
Jonelle says, this nation has never stopped being Rome. It's Babylon. It's just reflective of the whole White House lifestyle. Most of them closet is beyond coronavirus. This is the unveiling, unraveling, actually, of America, and God is pulling all strings. Yes, he's pulling the strings on a lot of stuff, right? And the curtain back, if you will. And Charles says, Trump has investments in the testing and immunization stock. Yeah, because now it sounds like Canada, I think it was, found a cure, or a vaccine rather, for the coronavirus. And I'm like, I believe they've had it all along, but you know, maybe they didn't think it was going to go as far as it did. You know, interrupting or damn near dilapidating the stock market. So now all of a sudden, hey, we found a vaccine, but the question is how many of you guys are going to line up to get it?
Right.
And you also say, heck no, with Vote Blue. And we all know that Charles is a big-time Bernie supporter. Are you a part of the Bernie Bros?
No, not at all. We don't support, well, at least I can't speak for Demetri. We don't support Bernie because he is not for reparations for black people, but he is for reparations of his people.
Yeah, because the Bernie Bros, their premise is, because I read the article yesterday, and they're basically saying we're not gonna get screwed again. You guys stole the election or screwed
2016, and we wouldn't be in the position we're in
right,
now.
and that's what they're saying. So they're saying if you guys are going to shove, because they're saying no way are we voting for Joe Biden. So if you're going to shove Joe Biden down our throats, we would rather have another 4 years of Trump than to vote for Joe Biden. They said they're not going to vote for Joe Biden. And I posted the article saying, well, isn't that funny? Because now between the Bernie bros and black people who are saying, I'm not voting for the lesser of two evils, the Democrats are there. They're going to be in quite a bit more trouble than they think they are.
Right. I mean, they better start getting their shit together and start addressing a black agenda. If you're going to address DACA, you're going to address Dreamers, you're going to address the LGBTQ, whatever, you need to have a black agenda. We are giving 73% of our vote went to Joe Biden. And what did we get for it? The first thing he said is, I'm going to do for this first people, these people. Nothing about black people. The people who got him over the hump, he is not doing anything for. So
Right.
we're done.
And James says Gillum is a prime example of how gayness is hijacked blackness when it comes to our representation, especially in D.C. The dude appears, quote unquote, to have a white family, but throws all of that away to play backgammon. I mean, like I said, even if he is, homosexual, okay, great, but just, own it. Because now you have a bigger conversation, of course, especially with black women. At one point in time, I don't know if it's still true, it might be, black women are general the pack, if you will, of new HIV and AIDS cases.
STDs in general.
Or HIV especially.
Yeah.
And they said a lot of that is due to men not owning the fact that they're gay, or whatever,
Coming out of prison, I'm only gay when I'm in jail.
well,
that kind of stuff too.
however they're coming about it, they're not owning it, and they're in these full-fledged relationships with women who may not know. There's a lot of women who don't know, and they're exposing them to a lot of things, and so
Very sad.
that to me is, if indeed that's what he was doing, to me that's the bigger part of the conversation,
Sure.
is that we already have enough of our black women, especially suffering from things that they didn't ask for.
Right.
You
Single motherness and stuff like that.
Right.
But especially for Andrew Gillum, what's the one thing that Demetra always says when she's going to take on a client that's in the political realm?
Is there anything about you I should know that before we get started that will come out that you wouldn't want anybody to know or somebody
Right.
going to find out?
Right.
Now, I tend to think, like, if this is Andrew's situation, I think a lot of people knew. But I think there's more to the story.
Right. But the
I think
point
that
is,
now it's a trump card for whoever is.
but in politics, if you want to immune yourself from these kind of attacks, you come out and you own it and you say, yeah, this is me, this is what I've done, and you get ahead of the story.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
But like I said, that's the bigger conversation.
Yeah.
Is that his wife, perhaps
His wife is very attractive.
maybe she does know. I don't know.
She's an attractive girl.
If that is, she could be Beyonce. Okay, Beyonce.
I don't think Beyonce's attractive. Maybe it's just me. I just don't think
You
she's
about the
attractive.
last one on the planet who does.
I don't think she's
If
that attractive.
Beyonce
She's
could
okay.
be cheated on,
Yeah.
that's what they say anyway, right? Let's see. And Donnie says his wife was looking for status, not a good whole man. And
Wow.
I was actually talking to Al about that
Wow.
yesterday. A lot of first ladies of the church, a lot of them know that their men, the pastors, are riding dirty. But they, to your point, are more interested in the title, the clout of saying, I'm, Mrs. First Lady. And so they overlook their husband's transgressions for the title, if you will.
What's wrong with you, brother? Nothing seems wrong with you. You walking into this church with your... My mind is weary and my head is heavy. What movie is that from?
I have no idea.
Which way is up? Sit down there if I put this glove on your ass.
Quoting
Quoting a movie.
Got it. And Jonelle says, right, women know their man best. None knows a man better than his woman, especially when they're, you said dough, when they're dough? So anyway.
When in doubt.
When in doubt, when they're, okay. So anyway, see, Donovan can read between the lines when I can't. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100% that a woman knows her man, right? And so, I'll save that for another conversation.
Oh, goodness.
I'll save that for another, but I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you 100%. And Erica says, I'm hoping and praying that he ain't on that. I mean, if he is, maybe he will get help. As far as I'm speaking of
It's a terrible drug. That's a terrible drug.
Meth, they say,
That
is one of the hardest drugs to kick.
Yeah, the disclaimer, I have my brother's ex-wife. She has been on meth for years, and this woman is a couple months older than me, She looks like she's 80 years old.
Yeah, I thought that was, when you showed the picture, I thought she was a grandma. I didn't know that was, damn. That's what meth be doing to people?
Tearing them up in their face. I mean, just aging them excessively. Because meth is a speed, so.
Oh. I was like, you sure
Yeah.
that ain't the grandmama?
When I walked in, I thought it was her, because I met her
mom.
mother before, but her mother's small and frumpy. And, but she is. She's like a small
She
show.
don't watch your show, do she?
No.
Oh.
Come on, look, they're in Banning, okay? But, Andrea's, lanky. And I looked and I was like, Andrea? I was just shocked.
So meth is a hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a drug.
Okay.
In the words of Rick James.
And then you also
It's
say,
one
Eric,
hell
I
of a
hope
drug.
Andrew ain't on none of that BS.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's,
and you wish well for anybody who's in a situation that's bad. You don't wish bad on anybody. And see, regarding what's happening, it says, good man, the term is subjective.
Mhm.
Adults are free to choose their mates. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
But my thing is, just choose. Don't take people through the
Right,
bull
with you.
caca with you. Because a lot of times people, they're honest with you. You get in a relationship, hey, I've been through a lot. I appreciate it. If you don't take me through some more stuff,
Mhm.
I ain't going to never do
Yeah,
nothing like
I mean,
that.
you're all I want, baby.
And then all of a sudden, you getting dragged through the shit.
Right. Right.
Anyway.
You seem very, very emotional about that issue. Have you? Never mind.
Charles said if the
Very
CIA or FBI was involved, then I agree with you, B, on this, on his career. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it was just one of those things, a fluke. Somebody took a little
But-
bit too much or something. Maybe they got in trouble physically, and then they need to be rescued. It
But-
could really just be that,
But
right?
see, this is what I'm saying. Knowing how the political game is played and how, for us as black people, knowing that they were at the bottom and, and how everything is rigged against us, these Jim Clyburns and all these people, they jump into the game and they expect to be exceptional. When the thing is, when the shit hits the fan, Hillary Clinton was caping for Corrine Brown. When Corrine Brown and Sheila Lee and all of them, they all hung out together at the thing. When this woman, this is the funny thing. I'm defending Corrine Brown. This shows you how bullshit.
For
they
a
did.
minute.
Yeah. No, I am. No, seriously. Because when she was getting sentenced, not one of those people showed up as a reference. Sheila Lee sent a letter. And this woman got 5 years after all the dirt and bullshit she did for the Democratic Party. And this is how they treat us.
I just have to wonder if the butter biscuits were worth it.
Exactly. At the end of the day. At the end of the day. Once they use you and abuse you,
Right.
you're done.
Right. And Reginald says his kids might have to go to counseling. They will be teased and harassed. Yeah, and I think that's the other part that people don't think about when they're not being honest. The other people who are attached to you,
that are affected.
who will have to hear about those things because, unfortunately, we live in a society to where even if there's a small implication of something, you might as well be guilty of doing it, and everybody
You're
is not
guilty
as
until you prove your innocence.
right, and everybody is not as understanding, or will say, hey, that's what you do, whatever, float your boat. There's a lot of people who will nail you to the cross,
Sad.
And
Very sad.
Donnie says Gary Siplin started that voter initiative when I lived in Florida, and he ended up catching a felony case. See,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's more to the story. There's somebody who's not wanting, I'm imagining, wanting them to do that, since we know that voter suppression, especially in the South, is huge. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something going on there, I would say. And Cindy says, McGreevy wife knew, both wives knew, we knew, the Republican Party knew.
Mm-hmm.
I had Republican friends who had pictures of McGreevy and his boyfriend.
Yeah, they were saying like George Bush and Skull and Bones, which John Kerry's a part of, and a lot of these political people are a
A
part
lot of
of.
homosexual
There's
activity.
a lot of homosexual
Yeah.
activity that is involved in that.
Right.
So,
And Charles, you say the coronavirus is a gift for Bernie Sanders if he would stop with all the goddamn Joe Biden is a good friend of mine and paint a
he
show,
needs-
America, that Biden and Trump agree on the same corporate interests and policies because they are both are owned by the oligarchs. And that's what we were saying to you a couple months back, Charles, especially in regards to Bernie. I mean, a lot some people say he should have just stayed an independent, but you know, to a lot of other people's point, including Donovan's, they don't want a third party to rise. But I agree with you. Stop trying to be good buddy old pals with people.
Yeah.
You know, just say it, call it what it is. I mean, Joe Biden, didn't he say some bad things about Bernie?
Sure did.
But yeah, Bernie is trying to be the good guy.
You know, the sad thing is people don't realize that Joe Biden is he's not far right, but he's farther right than the basic Democratic agenda. Right, he's a Dixiecrat.
He's a Dixiecrat.
So if you look at some of his policies, it does line up with the Republican agenda.
Right.
Now, here's another thing that they were talking about, too, in regards to a Biden administration. He's going to bring back a lot of Obama's people. So a lot of the Wall Street cats are going to try to line up and get back there.
And I want to know how many African countries, more African countries are going to be bombed.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. You know? That whole, it's so sad. But here's the thing about the third party, okay? Whenever a third party tries to rise, both the Democrat and the Republican Party fight to knock it out.
Yep.
That's why Bernie has to take a side. There's no other way that you're going to get any kind of traction as a third party. The news media won't even cover you.
Right. And that's just the truth.
We got the Green Party. That's a third party thing. Yeah, exactly. The Libertarian Party.
Who?
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And both of those parties are on opposite sides.
You got the rent is too damn high party.
Right. They won't cover it. So you have to run in one of the two major parties just to get your message out. Now let's think about this. 4 years ago, was anybody talking about universal health care? Nobody was.
You mean before Obama?
Well, Bernie's been championing it for a while, but when he brought it to the fold, it was like, this is what we need. And
now
then,
everybody's trying to
then right now, what are the major networks talking about? And I was telling Dimitri this the other day. It's the funniest thing. Now that this coronavirus is out, and everybody's, oh my God, pandemic. If you had universal health care, you can go to the doctor and get checked out, and so that kind of covers.
But now they're talking about that now.
Yeah, now they're talking about your employer mandating you to get.
But I'm saying with this coronavirus, you don't need any health coverage to go get checked
Right,
out.
right. But see, why does it take a government mandate?
Well, because it's affecting them now.
Right.
They need to get a handle on this mess.
But that's what Bernie's been saying. If you have certain things that is universal, it should just be without question.
Right. No, you're right. Agreed.
Now you got to tell people to stay away from work, but look, I got a mortgage payment to make. I got the coronavirus, but I got kids I got to feed.
Right.
I got to go to work.
Right.
I'm not covered. But if I had all those things, which is socialism, everybody.
Right.
Now here we are, pandemic. So what were you guys expecting at this point?
And Jonelle says they're saying the coronavirus is linked to the 5G. I've heard something about that, and the frequency from the satellite, its effects on the body, like how the military silent sound weapon operates on crowds. Radiation also saying that how many was affected via the cruise ships. My daughter just got back from a cruise. She said when they got on, before they got on, they were, testing them and making sure they were okay. If people had fevers or any issues like that, they couldn't get on. And so she said they did as much as they could to make sure. But now we know a lot of cruises are shut down as well.
Everybody talk about martial law right now, right? Think about this. We put this thing out here. Instead of having the troops come in and quarantine you guys and get you guys off the streets, you're doing it yourselves.
Right, right. And Lance says, let me see a comment.
That's my buddy Lance from high school.
What's happening, Lance?
What's happening?
He says, all saying if you have that much power, you did something wrong along the line to obtain that power.
Mm-hmm.
What they could say, dancing with the devil, making a deal with the devil. I would buy that.
You're going to have to pay. There's a movie, it started Dudley Moore in the 60s, and it was redone in 1999. It's called Bedazzled. You ever see it with Brandon Fraser? And,
a long time ago? Yeah.
I mean, excellent movie where, he had like these wishes and the wish wouldn't come out right because he made a deal with the devil and then it was time to pay.
Right.
And the devil came to collect.
Right. And Charles, you say Beyonce ass is awesome, but her devil worshiping makes her very unattractive. Come on now.
Hey,
that's talking about some Beyonce worship.
The Illuminati, you never know.
I just tend to, I don't know about that, y'all. I'm kind of like, because like, what devil is she worshiping? Is it the devil under the ground or is it the devil on the top of the ground? And Jonelle says, I mean, especially when the man is soft, women can tell their man is,
Yeah.
is sugary. I think so too. I think for a lot of women, it's just like, well, he's the best I got. Out there, at least I know he's not gonna be with any other women. He's just gonna be with, I don't know. I don't think, I don't know.
Maybe my Ike Turnerness is why a lot of women avoid me. I'm just too Ike
Your
Turner.
backhand is a little too
Yeah,
tough.
too tough.
Too tough. And Rosalind was happy. He said,
That's my girl right there. Hey, I sent you my trip to check your messenger. I sent you my trip to Hawaii.
all right
Check out some
now.
of the spots. She's getting ready to go and hang out with her girl.
Okay. And you say, I'm not letting a man water my flower just to say I have a man for status. That saddens me to know what and how much some women will sacrifice and put up with. But Rosalind, as women, we know that's true. There's a lot of women who will say, I know he ain't no good, but he's the man I got.
He's all the man I need. Oh, goodness. I gotta stop. Mama.
And, oh, God. Let's see. And Charles says, hey, wait a minute. The Green Party is on about 40 states, in about 40 states, general election ballots. It can't be done because the Democrat Party is only one, rigging and committing election fraud, suppressing the will of we the people. Corporate media is trash and no longer needed when a real third party say F the duopoly.
Okay.
Well, I mean, but why has there? I think there's been one independent president.
No,
None?
There's never been. Never been. Unless you go back to the Whig Party and George Washington way back then. Before they had a party.
I don't know where I was reading. I thought it was one that was.
There's never been
okay.
Never.
But yeah, but we know, they won't let them rise. You hear about them, but
Because think about it. If they let them rise, then that gives you other options. It's about the power.
let me know when you're gonna go live on that one.
This system only works if you have two parties. You go to any other Western democratic country, how many parties do they have? They might have hundreds.
Right.
And it works for them. And when the shit ain't working, they lose confidence. Another election.
Right. And Jonelle says martial law would be a declaration of war on all citizens. It's a lot of poor whites who are not going to be compliant.
Of course, and they're going to take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of speculation and videos and stuff talking about martial laws getting ready to take place. And as Donovan says, it's like backwards martial law where they don't have to contain you. They're making you self-quarantine. And out here, before you get started on that, California, the governor just got off of the airwaves saying that people 65 and older should self-quarantine, stay in the house, do not come outside. No one is able to go visit senior citizen facilities and things like that unless it's the end of life type of situation you're going to visit. He's also mandated at bars and wineries and stuff like that.
You didn't say bars.
Bars and wineries closed down. I don't know about casinos. That's when people really...
If the casinos go, the old folks will just jump. The baby boomers will just... That's it. They're done.
Where the coronavirus at? I'm going.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know about casinos. I know I've read somewhere in Las Vegas, some hotels have started to close. So there's a lot, and the governor also said at this point he's not trying to enforce anything because he just hopes people
will do it on their own.
But we know that senior citizens are the most vulnerable in regards to this coronavirus situation. And so he's put out some extra mandates, if you will. So
You know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
So, all right, you guys on the podcast, hello. It is me, Demetria K, and this is Donovan, the Black Yule Brenner Sadiq. And so we are actually on the second half where we are going to start talking about more of the coronavirus. And so welcome to you all. And so, guys, on Facebook and YouTube, hey, YouTube, we are going to start talking about the coronavirus. This chair hurts my butt.
You want to put a... You want to put the cat on there? You can sit on the cat.
No, I don't. He'd be like, ah! This chair hurts my booty. So anyway, we're talking about the coronavirus now. We can continue talking about
Andrew
Gillum.
Andrew
Gillum.
Sorry, Andrew Gillum. Mr. Andrew Gillum.
Mr. Andrew Gillum.
Yes.
So anyway, we've been talking about the coronavirus a lot lately, and I suspect that we will continue to talk about the coronavirus because it is something that is ongoing. You guys have been to your local grocery stores lately. You'll see that things are just gone from the shelves. Donovan tried to go to the store.
Winco. Couldn't give a chicken.
And there's a line. If you got they're letting people in slowly, so they're just not letting people go in as you normally would go into a grocery store. They're letting people go in slowly because, and there's a lot of limitations on the things in the store because they don't want people to go in there and hoard. Because we've seen many of the pictures online where people are just hoarding everything. I saw a couple pictures. One of a dude. He had a face mask on. He had a basket full of Top Ramen.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a picture of a lady at Costco, and she had one of those, not the regular shopping carts, but those long things like you would go into Home Depot.
Yeah, the padding.
And it was full to the top with toilet paper.
Which is ridiculous. No, I don't care how much money you think. These stores should never let somebody do that.
I agree. But now they have started imposing minimums on things that people buy. Mm-hmm. I talked to so many people yesterday, and they said we can't find water.
Diapers.
Or diapers.
Diapers are out.
And like, what's up with the grown people buying baby wipes? Like,
where's your bidet? I got a bidet, right?
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. Yes.
But not everybody want that abrupt stream of water up their butt.
You move the dial slowly with the pressure feeling. You're like, okay, I can handle that. Unless you want a big blowout. Wow!
No. Okay. So, what's up with the adults buying the baby wipes and not saving any of the baby wipes for the kids?
Right.
Because I've talked to a couple parents. It's like there's no baby wipes. The diapers are few far and in between. There's no water. They don't have any tissue. And I'm like, wow. Now, I'm feeling bad because I keep that stuff anyway. So it wasn't like I didn't even go out and buy no emergency toilet paper because of this coronavirus thing. I just had it, and so I'm like, well, if you need some, I have some.
Right.
And water too. But I have a filter because I'm like, I'm not gonna be fighting these people over no water bottles or nothing. So I'm good. Like I walked into the store early because I'm running out of tea. I drink tea every day. I just skedaddled in there. Hey, how y'all doing? No stress. But I'm walking around and I'm seeing people with baskets full of and I'm like, golly. And so we know that this coronavirus has caused a lot of mass hysteria. Now, is some of the hysteria necessary?
No.
I would say maybe it is. Maybe some of the hysteria, because you don't know how bad it's going to get. And so
wash your damn hands.
Oh yeah, now we know that, right? But you don't know how bad it's going to get, and people. We just live in a type of world where hysteria kind of rules the day. Mm-hmm. I call it the mind of the crowd. The mind of the crowd has gotten everybody to run out and hoard a bunch of toilet paper. When before this virus thing jumped off, I don't know if the virus makes you need more toilet paper, I don't know. But before it jumped off, people weren't hoarding toilet paper. Right. But now because in the mind of the crowd is when you go along with everybody, you can't think for yourself, you do as the crowd does. Everybody's out there hoarding water and toilet paper and just things you need, but it's kind of odd. I walked into the produce section today, and I'm a vegan, so I'm yeah. There's all these fruits. I didn't even feel, I wasn't stressed or rushed. Like, oh my God, let me get all the fruits I can before I come back.
Right.
I was chilling.
Americans don't eat vegetables.
Yes. So, but I think, so I don't want to minimize what's going on with the coronavirus because I see a lot of people doing that. Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys are tripping. It's not that serious. You guys let the media. And
it isn't that serious. And the aspect is of if you do what they're telling you to do, you should be okay. Do not expose your elderly people there. You don't want to expose your children to it. If you do self-quarantine in your house, open your windows. It's the simple things like that. They're kind of like, oh my God, I don't know how having all that toilet paper is going to stop you from getting coronavirus, but okay.
Right, but I just think, I don't know, it's just something weird, but it's, so like I said, I don't want to minimize the whole coronavirus thing, because like I said, you see a lot of people saying it's not that serious. Well, it is that serious because the coronavirus is 10 times deadlier than the regular flu. So you don't want to minimize and say, oh, you guys are tripping, just go about your daily lives. They're asking people to, I forget the exact term, but to social isolate yourself.
Yeah, social isolate, right.
Social isolation.
A lot of restaurants now, like I just went to Taco Bell earlier. The thing about Taco Bell was that the restaurant part is closed, but you can go through the drive-thru and pick up and go.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, as far as what the governor was saying here. Restaurants can stay open, and if they're going to keep their dining room open, have it half to capacity, because they don't want people to get too close. They want people to be socially isolated.
Isolated.
And so, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's we should put a big emphasis on the coronavirus, because it is deadly for a large section of the population, 65 and older.
How many black people died?
I don't know, but I ain't trying to be first.
400 years of this bullshit? Hey, we ain't going nowhere.
You know, hand sanitizer, all that stuff is, you know, it's gone, but there's a lot of soap and water, and so a lot of soap on the shelf. So I think, you know, what this virus thing is doing is exposing the mind of a lot of people, the mind of the crowd. And I tell you guys about this documentary I watch all the time called The Century of the Self, where you can watch it on YouTube, The Century of the Self, and they talk about that. They talk about how people just go along with whatever's going on, and people don't stop and question and say, well, just why do I need to go hoard a bunch of toilet paper again?
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, have you guys ever seen those videos where the guy's running and he turns the corner and he's like, run, 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 and everybody starts running. Same kind of concept.
Well, I will run if I see somebody running.
Yeah, but that's the concept. That's where it comes from.
Right.
Just follow the crowd.
Right.
Just do whatever.
Right. So, and that's I think this that's what it's become. And so a lot of people are rightfully scared. They're rightfully freaking out over this whole coronavirus thing. I ever seen people do it all. You see people with bras cut in half, put over their faces.
Yeah.
I've seen people go out in public with gloves and they're covered up. It's like, come on. You know, you probably got the coronavirus on all that mess you got.
You probably already have it and don't even know it.
You know? So.
You know, I remember when they first brought back that group of Americans from Wuhan right into March Air Reserve Base here in California. And I contacted the congressman. He denied he knew anything about it. But see, this is why you need people, elected people, that know what they're doing. I'm not saying those Americans can't come back to the United States, but now I'm just a regular layman that has some military training. Been over in the Middle East where we were dealing with chemical weapons and all kinds of stuff like that. You have to quarantine these people. You don't bring them to a major metropolitan area where you can expose more people. This is why, because people were calling me a NIMBY. For those of you guys that don't know what a NIMBY is, not in my backyard. No, I wasn't doing it for that. Look how deadly this thing is now.
Yeah.
So who was right? Me or the congressman? That's why he's an idiot.
Yeah, you do got to quarantine. You got to get it under control, because, you know, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people who just aren't going to self-isolate. That's what they call it, self-isolate or self-quarantine or whatever it is. A lot of people who aren't going to do it, and a lot of those people are probably going to be the ones that's going to have it out there, you know, out and about. And you think about it, people are running to the, I'm going to get you guys' comments, running to the grocery stores, but it's like you're doing exactly the opposite of what they're telling you to do.
Right.
You're not supposed to be a bunch of people standing in line, you know, or running around. And imagine if you have it, all the food and stuff you're touching, and then somebody else is coming to touch it, and then so it's just like, just stay home.
Right, and the biggest thing is, if you have a compromised immune system, that's the biggest problem. And here's what a lot of people don't know, especially our people. We have a compromised immune system. You want to know why? We raise our kids to drink a lot of sugar, talk ramen, and things.
All of that was gone.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. And that is why we have a compromised immune system, because we don't have all the nutrients and vitamins that we should have.
Right.
It's very sad.
And Joe Noe says everything this nation is doing, every choice this nation is making is bringing its clear and evident self-destruction. We should all keep stocking up on our necessities regardless of the outcome of the virus. I agree with you on that. And we really should have been doing that, because you don't know what's going to go on. As I tell you guys all the time, my dad always say, store your food and your water, because you never know. And that's what I do. I got so much food, like I couldn't even go buy any more food.
No.
And not because I'm being greedy, it's just because I do, you know, stockpile things. Now, as a vegan, Obviously, I gotta go get fruits and vegetables often, but the other stuff, I'm like, I got dry beans, rice, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
but
good.
but here's the funny thing: if you're going to self-isolate, okay, I know you got kids in there and stuff like that. You got Ray sitting on the thing playing PlayStation all day. That's his excuse for not going to work because they don't want him to go to work at the warehouse wherever he's working. If you're going to be doing that with this virus running around, you've got to constantly vacuum, not constant, but on a interval basis, vacuum. Like me, I'm shampooing my thing, doing the knobs and stuff. If you have children and stuff like that, you want to get them in the habit. This is the perfect time to teach them how to clean.
And the thing too is, we shouldn't even be going over people's. I feel like I shouldn't even be here, Donovan.
Why?
But we shouldn't be going over people's houses and stuff. You're supposed to stay home. So the point, and I agree with you, should like clean up. But there's stuff you should be doing anyway. But if you don't have people coming in and out of your house, it really shouldn't be a big problem, right? Because you're supposed to stay home and, avoid going out and visiting as much as possible.
Sure.
And hey, Erica, what's happening? It says all vegan/vegetarian vegetable items are still stocked.
Yep.
People are so overreacting.
Yep.
Shaking my head, yeah. Like I said, I walked into the store, I was like, oh, there's no worry. I mean, it was like there wasn't an apple missing. All the fruits and vegetables, lettuce and tomatoes, and I'm like...
Yeah, but even on the base commissary, which is the base grocery store, all the ramen and
Gone.
everything was gone.
And Jonelle says, clearly, with the revenue handed out, the rich will continue to look out for the rich. We must recognize and do what we can while we
Yeah,
can.
wait, that's a good point. That's an excellent point right there. Did anybody notice that $1.5 trillion was just given out, authorized by the Democrats, as well as the Republicans, with the president signing off on it? $1.5 trillion. That money could have paid off everybody's student loans
It
in
could
the
have been a
United
whole
States.
lot of stuff. And I'm actually seeing
And
more,
nobody's saying anything
I'm
about
actually
it
seeing more conversation about it now because I think
after it's done.
I think a lot of, the politicians are starting to say, okay, we can't keep getting away
This
doing
game.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
because now they're really gonna, it's just bad. So I've seen a lot of conversation about those things. We'll see.
$1.5 trillion.
Right, and it's gone, from what I
Gone.
understand.
It's
It's
gone.
just tricked off in the stock market.
$1.5 trillion, when you could have taken that money, if you were a actual presidential leader, and said, I'm going to dedicate 1.5, half of this is going to go through the CDC to hurry up and get a
I
vaccination.
did see something about he being Trump was suspending student loan interest.
How's that going to help you if this thing's over in a month?
Well, and they said not only that, but if that doesn't negate the payment.
Yeah, it doesn't negate the
Yeah,
payment. This thing will be over in about
Right.
a month and a half.
Right. And Cindy says, I have a lot of friends in Detroit. He said D Democrats who said a lot of Canadians come to the D, the D,
Detroit.
for health care and their prescriptions, right, because they're really close to each other. Okay.
Mhm.
Isn't it Canadians, don't they have free health care?
Yeah, they have universal health care there.
Okay. And Donna, you said people don't need to buy toilet paper. They should have on stock Tylenol and Advil for fever, cough
Robitussin.
humidifiers, Vicks, and fluids. Yes, that's what they're saying because they're like, if you're going to get sick, toilet paper is not going to help you. I mean, maybe blow your nose, but you're going to need stuff to make you help feel better as you're going through because right now, well, they say they have a vaccine, but we don't have access to it. There's nothing you really can do but self-quarantine, medicate, to start staying comfortable.
And think
drink
about
fluids.
this. Having all that toilet paper with all those people, you're creating a bunch of trash that you're going to have to...
Somebody I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
Garbage people are going to be like,
Well, what if the garbage people ain't working?
it can get nasty. Hey, Todd, what's happening? He says gas pumps are nasty. People cough, sneeze, and dig in their
Yeah.
noses
Yeah.
before they touch those pumps. The germs stay on a surface for 8 to 10 minutes. Gas pumps are used every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do. Shortly, after I get through pumping gas, I get
Yeah.
my hand sanitizer in the car, and I...
Yeah, and if you're lucky, some of the gas places do have like the soap there you could use after you're done. Some of them, not all.
Yeah,
of
I
them.
haven't seen that in a while, but
Yeah.
yes, hand sanitizer is most definitely, after using it again, that is very nasty. And Rosalind says, Donovan, I'm not sure about your mom, but they're making us do a mandatory 3-day telework week, 100% telework week for workers with small children because the schools are closed.
Well, unfortunately, Mom will take advantage of every thing she can. She's got Muttley. She considers her new child, so no.
I gotta stay
Yeah,
home.
I gotta stay home. Well, then, she stays home anyway. I don't know what her hours are, but no, she's probably gonna go to work anyway to do her homework and stuff like that.
You
But,
can dive on mom?
well, yeah, she does it all the time. she's a federal worker.
Your mom doesn't do homework at work. She works at work.
Well, after hours.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, she's at work. She can't do it at the house. You know, she's going to do it at the
You
job.
saying too much.
Hey, my mom is a G. She's a senior.
Your mama need her job.
No, she don't. She's retiring. So, anyway.
And Jonelle says we better learn how to make like Denzel in the book of Eli.
Yep.
Black people better recognize we are all, we truly got first and the foremost, and our unity is empowerment. Absolutely.
And
We are out of time.
And if you haven't seen The Road Warrior or Mad Max or Fury Road, you better go ahead and read the template. Get ready.
Okay.
Get ready.
And you know, I posted that yesterday. I said, okay, people are hoarding toilet paper, water. What about protection? Because, you know, what if, you know, I got this garage and it's full of all this toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and water. Then I hear this.
Exactly.
We seen you unloading all that, all the goods.
And I don't have.
And we want it.
Exactly.
No, go away. Then it's.
Boom, boom, boom.
Can I throw rolls of toilet paper at people?
Hey, why not? Why not?
I mean, is that going to work? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, Erica, sheeple.
Sheeple. That's exactly
Sheeple are people who act like sheep. What do sheep do?
They just eat and graze.
And they follow other sheep. One jumps off the cliff, the other one's like,
follows right back. Or like cows. Or like cows, if the barn's on fire, they just stay in the barn.
Right. Oh, that good roast beef.
Man, it smells good. Have you ever been in the...
No.
Oh, anyway, but it smells good.
Jonelle says, you bring infected people to a huge city if your desire is chaos for profit. Absolutely.
That's exactly, because it made no sense. You know these people possibly are infected, and you're going to put it in a metropolitan area of 200,000 plus, no, almost 500,000 people between us and Riverside. There's almost 500,000 people, and say, oh, we're just going to quarantine right there. Number one, I'm not a doctor. You're not a doctor, but we don't know how deadly this virus is, and now we're finding out.
Right.
After the fact.
Yeah, I honestly, if it was something that was that's man-made, I think it got out of control. It's sort of like a sci-fi movie. Oh my God, we didn't know.
Absolutely.
We didn't think. You know, when the higher up start getting it, then it's like, oh, okay. And Cindy says, so I'm not believing the first coronavirus patient was in November. I've actually read that. Are you thinking maybe it was before then? Is that what you're saying?
No. What the report says is the United States first started finding out about the outbreak in Wuhan in November.
The outbreak.
The outbreak. That's when it was like, really big, sort of, and from Wuhan. But yeah, like you said, it was probably started way before that.
I believe that, most definitely.
Way before that. But the United States was notified that, there's something going on in the city of Wuhan.
Right.
In November. And notice they didn't do anything for 3 months.
Right.
Didn't get any kits, didn't do anything. Leadership, Donald Trump.
And Donna says, she's replying to Jonelle, first case reported in San Bernardino County, Kaiser and Fontana. Up until a couple days ago, there were no cases in San Bernardino. They was,
unreported cases.
Sitting on pretty over there.
Exactly.
We ain't got it. I've even seen, I don't know why it came to my mind, I've seen people, and Jonelle, I think you sent this to me, people making skits. The one was this dude's in the subway, and he's, and people are freaking out,
Right.
I'm like, people trying to get the beat down, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
People are playing with their lives out there playing, because, people are on edge now, like, okay, somebody coughing.
Right.
You got the Rona. They call it the Rona, y'all.
Yeah.
The Rona.
But all of this is scheduled mind control. It goes back to what I was telling you. Remember when they had the color codes? After 9/11?
Yeah.
It goes yellow. Everybody started panicking.
Right.
Then it went to green. And then every so many months, they want to see where everybody's at. I'm not saying don't take this seriously. What I'm saying is think about what you're doing when you do it.
If you can, just stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Common sense stuff.
Stay your ass in the house.
Right.
I think...
Read a book.
Like my daughter...
Watch our show.
She's like, all the self-isolation. I said, knock it off. You self-isolate all the damn time.
Yeah.
This is nothing new for you.
Yeah. Exactly. What is she complaining about? We had to get her to get on the boat.
Okay. But it's a good opportunity for people to just be home. A lot of times people are just
Think about the money
ever.
Yeah, think about the money you're not spending.
Right. Well, now, but maybe not if you out there spending, you got 2 or 3 baskets of toilet paper. paper and
Yeah,
shit, you
well,
know.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you know, you was planning, like me, I was planning to go on my trip.
Well, when are you gonna go? What?
Oh, yeah, everything's closed. So
Right.
even right now, I was like, well, let me see where I can go now.
Even
I can't even go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, the kids, you know, my niece and nephews, they're home and they're like, we're bored. And, you know, they couldn't even go to Disneyland because
Give
all of
them a
that is
book.
closed. So it's like, yeah, stay home.
Read a
Like
book.
people used to do. Put on the fireplace because it's cold out here. Have a, you know, family reading the book time and storytelling
Let's talk.
time. You know, my family used to get together and make up jokes. See who had the funniest joke or something like that. So yeah, you know.
Put the fireplace on, you know.
Right, chill. And Jonelle says the rich got millions of dollars
Millions.
bunkered underground, fully stocked. Not saying that will save them, but they're definitely not leaving things to the Holy Ghost.
Mhm.
Absolutely right. You don't see them running around.
I mean,
mass hysteria.
$1.5 trillion snuck by the American people.
Right. And Donna says first case in I think of it. First case in San Bernardino County,
Yeah,
Kaiser. And Erica says people are such zombies. Toilet paper, right? Of all things. And as I saw a lot of people say, no vitamins.
Right.
As Donna said, no,
No peroxide?
no remedies to help you feel better. None of that. All that stuff is
No
full of itself.
bandages?
Right. None of the stuff that's going to help you avoid needing a bunch of toilet paper for whatever reason you
No
may
honey?
need it.
No tea?
Right.
That's what I'd be stocking up.
That's what I got.
You know?
But I drink tea every day,
Well, yeah,
so
but
I
I'm just
just
saying-
ain't got the stuff I use.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the stuff that's going to get you over a cold. No chicken noodle
Right.
soup. You know,
Right.
whatever.
No
you-
lemons.
Yeah.
Right. And Jonelle says that money could have been given to doctors, scientists to formulate a cure,
Yep.
produce the necessity to combat this so-called pandemic. Nah, but
No, most Republicans
they wanted to
believe.
say that money.
Yeah, most
that stock
Republic-
market.
Yeah, most Republicans believe that the cure to every end all be all is a tax cut. They've been thinking that since the 80s.
Right, and then I just read too before we came on here that the zero rate, the interest rate is zero now.
Zero now. Yeah.
It's zero.
But what good is it having a zero interest rate if you ain't got no money?
You ain't going to work.
Right. I mean, how's that going to help you? But see how they do that to make
Right.
you feel like they're doing something?
Right.
If I can't go to work and get a paycheck, well, how's that going to help me?
Right. And Erica says, passage from Dean Koontz, 1981 book, Eyes on the Darkness, seems
Yeah.
eerily familiar. U.S., I said, I'm just saying, page 353, the Eyes of Darkness, page 333, page 353, page 355, and page 366. Dean Koontz has written about an interesting biological weapon, Wuhan 400, which resembles coronavirus location in China. Here is the text from the page 366 of the book. Exactly, quote unquote, Domby said.
Wait, before you
Sure.
get started. We're not going to read a whole thing, you know. We'll do it, but try to limit that off.
Erica,
Yeah.
I will read it.
Yes, she'll read it, but she goes off when people do that.
You never see me go off. He's lying. It says, and, I mean, because it could be important.
Yeah,
we
it
need
can be
to know
important.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Wuhan 400 has other equally important advantages over most biological agents. For one thing, you can become an infectious carrier only 4 hours after coming into contact with the virus. That's an incredibly short incubation period. Once affected, no one lives more than 24 hours. Most die in 12. It's worse than the Ebola virus in Africa. Infinitely worse. Wuhan 400 kill rate is 100%. Damn, you know what? I actually have seen people post that. Dean Koontz is an author, and he writes, different things, and this is one of the passages. They also said, Erica, Sylvia Brown. You guys remember Sylvia Brown?
Yes.
The
Psychic.
she was the psychic that was on Montel Williams' show a lot, and was predicting things. A lot of stuff was wrong, but they're saying this is one of the things in one of her books that she predicted to come true. Now I don't know how true it is. I'm just saying what I saw in 2020 that the coronavirus there would be a pandemic. I think it was said there would be a pandemic. So a lot of people are just pointing out. And I don't know if the Simpsons count because it sounds like a lot of that stuff is photoshopped.
Mm.
The Simpsons predicted that Donald Trump would die, and so yeah, I mean.
But no, Back to the Future predicted it, right? Back to the Future Part 2, where Biff owns the city and stuff like that.
Right.
That's Donald Trump. That character was based off Donald Trump.
See, wow. And Cindy said the gym too. Yeah, I wouldn't be going to the gym. People are sweating and coughing and stuff is dripping everywhere.
That's why I got my home gym right here, thanks to you, the taxpayer.
It's called the Dust Gym.
Yes.
Because it's got dust all over it. And Jonelle says, Also, you can get some plastic gloves for gas pumps and other places. Yeah, you can do that, you know.
Gloves are all premium now. You can't find gloves.
Luckily, I have some gloves in the house, you know. But yeah, you can do that too, you know. But for the most part, just try to stay home if you can. Some people can't stay home; they got to get out and about. But if you can stay home, just stay home. You know, it'll blow over soon if everybody just kind of complies for the most part.
Yeah, we're coming into spring, and to me, this is a test run for a bioweapon. Because if you look at the numbers in Iran and Italy, it doesn't make sense. We talked about this on Free Flow last Friday. And if you look at where the numbers are and how it's affecting it, it just doesn't make sense because Italy had an issue with the United States that we didn't like. And, of course, Iran has an issue with the United States. And look at the numbers over there.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
I wouldn't doubt it. Eric, he says, the only time it's good to be a sheep is to God Almighty. Absolutely. And Donna, you say in December and January we will have a surge of babies being born.
Absolutely.
Right, because they ain't going to stop people from doing that, okay? And Cindy says, it was here before that. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. And Jonelle says, Wuhan is the base of the 5G that was supposed to be launched. And so the 5G, that's what the, what is that exactly? Is that like your 5G phone?
Yeah, it's like a 5G phone. It's a...
Yeah.
The Force, kind of like the Force.
Okay. I mean, you know, Jonah, I don't, you know, a couple years ago I might be like, that sounds a little bit crazy. But, you know, I don't doubt any of that now. I don't put anything past the government or, you know, anything really. I would say, yeah, it's plausible, you know. And you also say, yeah, I sent that. They sprayed him and Rona off. Him off the train, they wasn't playing, They sprayed him down, tackled him, it was a skit, you know. Yeah. But the other people on the train didn't know.
Wait, I think I put one up like a couple months ago, when the thoughts were coming back from Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, when they sprayed him down. Right, they probably started the coronavirus. Right. And Allie says the coronavirus reminds me of the scene in the James Bond movie Goldfinger where that toxic gas was sprayed in the air to knock out the military personnel and citizens. Yeah, I mean, if you
Pussy Galore and her minions.
That's the part that you decided to invoke from the movie.
That's a classic movie, Pussy Galore. That's a classic name for a Bond girl.
That I know.
Other than Austin Powers,
what's the name of the other women in the movie?
About a vagina.
What was the name of the other women in that movie?
Oh, Gertrude, Beatrice, Simone, and
what's the secretary's name?
Oh my God, Moneypenny. Moneypenny.
I'm just testing to make sure you wasn't just focused on Pussy Galore.
Austin Powers, About a Vagina.
Yeah. Alata.
Yeah,
vagina. Got it. All right, and Erica says, no need to read it all. I read it all. I'm paying attention to no Donovan. And Al says, what do you say to the black people who say that the coronavirus is a sign that Jesus is coming back?
Could be. I'm not going to doubt anything. I mean, I'm not going to disparage anybody's faith. I mean, there's a lot of people that thought David Koresh was Jesus. But wait, think about this, you guys.
And Jim Jones.
Wait. How could you think David Koresh is Jesus? He wore glasses. Jesus doesn't wear. Jesus is perfect. He got wore glasses. He can never be Jesus. Anyway, just a bit of logic.
And he was sleeping with the kids.
Right, but when a guy wears glasses and he's talking about he's Jesus, he's not.
So is that a sign that Jesus is coming back? Like Donovan said, if that's what you subscribe to, you know, Christianity that says that the rapture is going to happen. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me personally to say. I guess we'll know when we're still here.
When we see the 4 horses of the apocalypse ride down.
You like rerun behind them damn horses. Be running, wait. I'm sorry. I mean, who knows, you know. Hey, who knows? I guess the only way to really find out is if, you know, I'm not hearing, Donovan's hearing.
Oh, you got raptured and left me? Damn. Okay.
Donovan's
but guess what?
And he sees a poop of smoke.
Right, but guess what? All my friends will be here with me. We're all going to be here.
And then you start seeing these flames come up.
We're all going to be having a party. You'll
Start
be,
gnashing your teeth and stuff.
no. You guys seen that episode of the Twilight Zone where the guy was, he thought he was in heaven,
Yeah.
but really was in hell? That's going to be Denise.
No.
She's going to have all her
Wiggle wings?
Yes. She's going to have all her...
Halo, hey.
what's that?
It's like
Her Chippendale guy giving her thing and for the rest of her days. That's going to be hell.
Or hey, how about if, I think I'm in heaven and they're like, oh, here's your teacup.
Yes.
And I'm drinking and it's nothing. It's just like some sand that's coming out. Oh, God.
Or it never stops filling up and you got to drink it. Who knows?
Good question. Okay, so let's see here. Eric says, it's sad we still got folks turning in like God tells the news. Better do your doggone research too. Yeah, like see for yourself. Research for yourself. For those of you guys who follow the Bible, 2 Timothy 2:16 says, study to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word of truth. Make sure it's true for yourself.
Right.
Don't just take the word of everybody saying, well, what I had heard was. No, find out for yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And Cindy says, so are we thinking we created the virus? Some people I don't put it past, some lab somewhere, somebody, the government to say, hey, I mean, come on.
Think about this.
How about the Tuskegee experiment?
Yes. Then think about this. Okay, the coronavirus has been here for hundreds of years. It comes out of the animals.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, a pandemic on this thing that's been here for hundreds of years starts. So.
Well, and this one is 10 times deadlier than the regular
right.
flu. So it's not like the regular coronavirus, if you will, the flu. And Al says, don't panic about the coronavirus. The Simpsons haven't had an episode about it yet.
Exactly. Real quick though, for those guys that haven't seen it, just this morning we put up a video that we talked about a week and a half ago, and it's on YouTube, and you can go to Demetrius' page, my page, whatever. We said 73% of the vote, and he's giving you nothing in return. We're getting a lot of feedback with that video because a lot of people are like, what, huh? What do you mean? What are you saying? Overwhelmingly, black people have given Joe Biden 73% of their vote, and the first thing he says he's going to do is LGBTQ, DACA, and the Dreamers. Done. Nothing for the very people who put him into the position he's in right now.
Nothing for black people.
So, no, there's nothing for black people. But this is what we've been talking about for, over a year now? So, if you guys get a chance, please go check that out and give us some feedback. I'm getting a lot of feedback from people who don't normally follow us, but they're like...
I thought that was, keep waking them up.
Yeah, let me just read one comment. This is from a friend of mine named Toby Tyrone. It is their fault for falling for his propaganda. So basically what my friend Toby's trying to say is, it's your fault for not doing your homework on a candidate that is promising you nothing. He never promised you nothing, so how could you be mad or be upset?
And you guys, I can't tell y'all how many people done argued me down over how dare I not want to vote for Joe Biden.
Because he's handsome.
I mean, just yesterday alone, I had a bunch of the senior citizen community in our community basically say that I was worthless for not voting for Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. Shame,
and I wish I was doing the most, but I'm not. That's pretty much what they said. You are not fit to even exist.
Call yourself a woman.
Oh, they didn't take that damn far now. So anyway, Cindy says, exercise, eat clean, take vitamins, and drink water. Absolutely, it's just that simple. Just do what you're supposed to do.
Whatever you do.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. We're self-isolating, which is true. But you can still go outside and kind of walk and get some fresh air.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
I've been doing that.
You don't just stay in the house. Go out, not to congregate, but like you can go to the park and walk around or the neighborhood and then get back in the house. You got to get fresh air and get your lungs cleared and all that.
The last couple of days, I've been outside in the rain, walking.
Literally.
I literally walking and running. You know, I'm like, I need to get out the house.
Yeah.
You know, I need some exercise.
Yeah.
And Erica says, amen, sister and brother. All right now. And Al says, she said, my name is Pussy Galore. And Bond then replied, I must be dreaming.
Yeah, classic. Connery had that nice little wig piece looking tight. Man.
And Eric says, I don't doubt the links evil can go through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Erica You say, silver lining, if right now is a good time to book those spring break flights. Costa Rica is about $180. Yeah, I saw a trip to New York because I want to go for $170 round trip. I was like, God, leave. But then it's like, because I'm looking to go somewhere for my birthday in April. So I don't know where I'm going to go, but I want to go somewhere. So I'm looking to book a flight. Hopefully all the stuff is blown over by then.
Yeah, I've been looking at something for Africa in September. No, in August.
What are flights looking like?
They're still up.
They're like, shit, hey, we good over here.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they do that to keep black people from going to Africa, to keep the prices high.
Right. And Al says, due to the coronavirus, all of the ratchet legs will be closed. I doubt it. Okay? That's one thing people gonna want to do is that. And Jonelle, you say, babies born every day, nothing dead from 2,000 years is coming back, but you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears, and you can tell a man by the his works, and there's no image, especially
and the fruit he bears.
Right. Graven that defies like works. Sober up, do the math, face reality. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he met with God and built a nation out of so-called slaves, and whites study him and his student minister Farrakhan that called for 1 million men, and 2 million showed up, not to mention their other works. But compare and be saved. Know the truth reigns. Absolutely. I mean, and I agree with you, Jonelle. So that's why it's hard for me to, answer when people say, do you think this is a sign of Jesus coming back? Because from what I understand, when Jesus comes back, it's not going to be, I guess there'll be some warnings, it's prophesied, so they say in the Bible, but I don't think he's going to, holler out the sky. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody who's religious and say, hey, in about 5 minutes, you better stop sinning and get it together because I'm coming. And we know that in the Bible, as a lot of plagues and stuff have been prophesied. And so I saw an article, I don't know how true it is. It said somewhere in Africa, a bunch of locusts was running around. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah, no, actually, that is true.
It is true?
Yeah, it is true where there's a big plague of locusts that is going through eating the crops.
Yeah, so that's prophesied as well. So are we
that's
living?
Seasonal, but they're not seasonal, but it happens so many years.
Yeah, but are we living in the last days? I would say, the reason why I have a hard time really ascribing or subscribing rather to any of that is because I always say I just can't imagine, especially for black people, enduring any more hell than we've already endured. So is there a heaven above and a hell below? If there is, we all gonna go. R.I.P. Curtis Mayfield. I don't know. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like it's all here.
Well, that's Curtis was smooth.
And Al says, if you give some toilet paper to some people, would that be considered the same as a
What do you say? Oh, okay, got it.
Maybe. Cindy says, it rains in Southern California. It's been raining since last week.
Yeah.
And it's rained every day. It's going to rain up until Tuesday. So yeah, it definitely rains here. But we gangster. We don't care,
Well, it rained and then people freak out on the freeway.
Not me. I've not worn a jacket in the last couple of days, in or outside of the rain. I even went outside and ran up the mountain with just a t-shirt on. Well, I had on some pants too, but I didn't have a jacket. I did have my beanie on. But, the rain doesn't bother me. And Al says the other Bond girl with a sexy name is Octopussy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Maud
what I was
Adams.
thinking. Yeah.
Was in James Bond twice. She was in The Man with the Golden Gun, the girl that got killed, and she was in Octopussy as the starring role. The starring Bond girl.
Well, and that was in the 1960s. Like, what were they thinking?
What you mean? Shagging?
You're right. With these names.
Remember in the modern day, because we don't do that anymore.
Well, when I was a child, I watched James Bond, the James Bond movies, and a lot of that stuff, as a should, I'm a child, went over my head. But when I watched it as an adult, because my daughter has spent some time, because Al and Donovan are huge, big-time James Bond fanatics. They could tell you who the Grip Boy was in this 1976 production of the James. They can tell you all of that. So my daughter was watching them, and I'm watching them with her, and I'm like, boy, that's nasty.
Yes, that's right.
I thought they had a lot of, little, things where you couldn't say and do in the '60s and all.
And and the good thing about it is, if you read the book, Bond actually raped Pussy Galore.
He did participate in a lot of Me Too behavior.
Yeah,
If you really think about it, James
Because
Bond
he was
did
a
participate.
man's man, he just took it.
Yeah, you think about it in a lot of he did participate in a lot of Me Too behavior. If you watch the movies,
That's when men were men,
is that what that is?
That's what it was.
You just club you on top of the head.
That's
and
it.
Sling you over the shoulder.
You gonna sing the song the way I told you to sing it? Are you gonna do it?
You know what part of the movie I like?
Look, yeah, the end.
The
look.
end.
I'm making the studio for you now. Not gonna put some stank on it. Some stank on it. Okay. You know what happened in that studio.
Right. You know what happened in the back of that limo too.
Right.
And Cindy says, right now they're telling us to prepare for another 8 weeks. Ooh.
Yeah. It is what it is. Look, put it like this though. Everything is shut down, so what can you do? I mean, at this point, what can you do?
You know what people should be, though, doing is being more creative. Can you imagine if they shut off the towers to the phones? Oh, my God. People probably kill each other.
That's when the guns come out and people get ready.
Man.
Yeah.
You say you agree with something Cindy said, that's true. And Al says the last days reminds of the old boring TV show, The Voyagers. I don't think I've ever watched that. And you also say Maud Adams was the actress in 2 of those Bond movies.
Yep.
Okay.
Man with the Golden Gun and Octopussy. Yeah.
So, it's as far as, what's going 8 more weeks, wow, saying, to me, because I know out here the kids are out of school until April 3rd, so that's...
Yeah, right now they're officially on spring break, but then they might extend it.
Yeah, because they're really just trying, in California, and I would say this about, I like the governor we have, Gavin Newsom. I like him because, he's not perfect, but he's trying to do a lot of things right by Californians, if you will. And he's really trying to get a grip on what's going on because California already has a lot of issues. And we're leading the pack in homelessness. It says I think it's over 50% of the homeless population is in California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we got a lot of issues here. So I think, he's like, we better just be safe than sorry. Let's shut it down.
Which is what should have been done over a month ago at the federal level.
Right.
If we had a leader that would lead.
Right.
They should have shut it down a long time ago. And then a lot of this, think about it. It's already spreading, but it would have been less spread, basically.
Right.
The earlier you do it.
Yeah, but ain't no telling people walking around with it. And what do they say? The incubation period is like
about 2 weeks.
2 to 5 days or something like that. And then as far as, it being on.
To see if you got it, it takes about 2 weeks.
And then they say, too, a lot of people might have it, but they might not exhibit any symptoms.
Right.
They might not be affected by it, but that don't mean you can't spread it to somebody else who's going to be more receptive or vulnerable to it. So that's why they're just telling people to stay home, stay in the house, and just, do what you got to do.
Right, but if you're in the house, don't turn up the heater and incubate it to where it gets worse.
Well, our here it gets kind of cold. So
it does, but I'm just saying for a few hours, open
the
your
window.
windows
Yeah, that's what
and
I
let
do. Open the
everything
window.
done. Change your bedding.
No.
Yes, change.
No.
Right.
Because I want to lay on the sheet.
No.
I want to lay on the sheets for 2 months and
No.
I mean, of course.
Yeah, of course. But a lot of people don't do that. It's simple things like that. Change your bedding.
And wash your clothes. Don't you have a bunch of piled up dirty clothes in the room, in the house.
To me, this is common sense stuff. But you will be so surprised how common sense isn't so common.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad.
And Eric, you say, I haven't heard that 8 weeks. Maybe it's something new because I haven't heard it either. And I've been staying pretty abreast of what's going on. And Jonelle, you say, we've been given a white imagination and lies of God and Jesus. We are not rooted in reality, but mainly false white plagiarized perspectives of our scriptures written on Egyptian walls and other places, and not to mention all stolen from us by those who claim to be children of God. Mm-hmm. We must face reality. They tell us it's their King James Version. When we face our mirror, we will see Jesus and God. Mary, if you're a woman, we are the original people of the planet and our own Savior as black people. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you on that. You didn't let me say nothing to the people on the podcast?
That's okay.
Okay. As you guys also know, Jay Electronica came out with his album after about 10 years. and it's pretty dope.
When's Sade gonna come out with an album? Damn.
Wasn't the Soldier of Love the last one she
Yeah,
came
the
out
last
with?
one she had.
Soldier of Love. Yeah, but Jay Electronica, he talks a lot about that, as what you said, Jonelle. And Jay Electronica is FOI, part of the NOI, and he is unapologetic about that. And what's so dope about it too is that he got the Minister Farrakhan on the first 2 tracks, and he's on some other tracks as well. But he has him speaking, and talking about certain things, especially in regards to.
I thought the minister was on the Calypso part of it. He put his Calypso intro in. And I'm like, yeah.
Let's stop the killing.
Right.
And the other one, a black man's a white man's heaven is a black man's hell. Yeah. But no, so yeah. I'm like, go ahead, Jay Electronica, because he's like, I'm not trying to appease nobody else. This is who I am.
And people are gonna buy this music.
I bleed. FOI, I love the minister, like Barton, I don't care what none of y'all say. And Jonelle, you probably seen a lot of people in the Jewish community are starting to come out because, I don't know if it was him, because Jay-Z's on it as well. If it was him or Jay-Z who was talking about the synagogue of Satan, and a lot of people in the Jewish community are just losing it, like, oh my God, and they're saying basically, how could you listen to this? It's anti-Semitic, and oh, he follows the minister, and it's like, I don't think he was making that a secret. I mean, he's on, if I'm not mistaken, Jonelle, isn't Jay Electronica on his cover with on the cover with his FOI suit and everything on? So I don't think he's making that a secret.
You know one of my favorite Nation of Islam rappers, Cam. I used to love Cam.
Yeah.
Peace Treaty and Trust Nobody.
Right.
Oh, that was my jam, man.
And Eric, you said Gavin Newsom is a real one. Yeah, he is. But them folks don't want him in there, because he's doing a lot of good things for average people in California. You guys know too, they put rent control now. It's a thing. California wasn't. And people are paying astronomical amounts for rent.
Well, they're moving people out to increase the rent.
Yeah,
on newer people.
Right, it's crazy. And Cindy says, out here till April 20th. Wow. Maybe I'll come visit you. I'm just playing. My birthday is actually that week. Or it's actually the week before that. And Al says, other than, he said, Yaphet Kotto, I would love to see a black leading Bond villain. Grace Jones did an excellent job as Mayday.
She did.
And, I don't think I've seen that one.
That one is, not the Living Down, sorry, Do to Kill.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen that one yet.
That was the last one Roger Moore starred in.
Okay. Hey, Charlie, what's happening? He says, watch the video by Dr. Abul Ali Muhammad over Corona from Ali Sadiq. Did I see that one? I think somebody sent it to me, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I will. And Jonelle, you say, James, I think it meant James Bond. James Word ain't never been Bond. Why the last name Bond? Because he comes in the name of true 007 is white people to the max, and a true pirate that cloak himself in good name. It's subtle pimping like Superman that makes the masses root for the criminals. Now that's some 007.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm serious, like if you watch some of those movies, you're like, that's some Me Too stuff, for real.
But the books are even worse. The movie's bad.
Well, the books usually are worse.
I mean, he was like taking the movie. I mean, he was just taking it. Literally.
How y'all doing, YouTube?
Yeah.
And Cindy says, it was eerie yesterday, no cars on the highway. Yeah, same here. It was like the ghost town. Even when I was leaving here on Friday, I was like, there's no traffic. Because usually it takes me a long time to get
beautiful.
home. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Enjoy it while you can.
Okay. And even coming here, it was like, and Al says,
15, 20 minutes,
it was like it's supposed to be.
Right.
Not even that long.
Exactly.
And Al says in the first Bond movie, towards the end, they had on protective suits and helmets to prevent them from breathing in a virus-type gas.
Yeah, Dr. No.
Yeah, that's that one I did see.
If you guys get a chance on, is it YouTube or, no, Filmora? No. It's on, I'm sorry. It's on Pluto TV, which is free on the internet. They have the original, the first appearance of James Bond, which starred Barry Nelson. He was the very first James Bond on TV, and it had that guy from Key Largo. he played in The Raven. He was the dad in The Raven, like the sidekick. But anyway, but that was the first one. It's on Pluto TV, and they have a whole string of James Bond movies.
Okay, cool. And Cindy says on Thursday press conference, the doctor said prepare for 8 weeks. I mean, it's
Yeah,
reasonable.
he says that
It's reasonable.
we haven't even reached the press yet.
Right.
So,
Because they said it's going to get worse,
yeah,
actually.
before it gets better.
Right. And Cindy says, how can I listen to the album? YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to it on YouTube. It's on Spotify. My daughter has Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
You can listen on Spotify. I think it's on Tidal. It's definitely on YouTube. It's called, what is it, Jonelle? Written Letter? Something like that. I think that's the name of it. It's his latest album. It's the first one in 10 years. Highly anticipated. Everybody's ranting and raving about it. Some people have, people who don't like what he's, him being a nation have issues. But for the most part, a lot of people have just gave it rave reviews. I'm on my second time listening to it. It's an awesome piece of work.
Stop cooking.
And Eric says Gavin was the first to sign the Crown Act to I believe, yes he was, California Crown Act stop discriminating against black people and their hair.
Now, he could sign a executive order to give us some reparations in this mug, but
maybe he will. And thank you, Eric. And he says, happy early birthday, sister. Yes, I'm going to be 29. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
whatever.
29. Can you believe that?
Yeah, you aren't that 15-year-old that was hopping the fences to go on the moment anymore.
I can still hop a fence down. No, but thank you so much. And Jonelle says, the minister got a new album as well. You can get it via dnoy.org. Webcast or thefinalcall.com or LCTW Music. And he says Cam got new music also. Okay.
Yeah, Cam got new. The last album I got was called Camnesia.
Okay.
Pretty good.
What was it called?
Camnesia.
Huh?
Exactly.
Eric, written testimony. The written testimony, Eric. Okay. I know it's written testimony. And Al says, it has been a mass hysteria saying Never Say Never Again was not considered a Bond movie. I actually hated it.
Yeah, well, actually, Never Say Never was a remake of the fourth movie, which was, God, I can't remember.
Casino Royale?
No, Casino Royale was the first one.
I just threw that out.
But it was the fourth movie where they go after the Bond. It was just another remake. So.
Is that the one that's not part of the series?
Yeah, it's not part of the series, but it is now kind of officially because they bought the rights to it, so they put it in there, but it's not.
And Cindy says, y'all ready for the storm that will cross the country? What storm? What storm is you talking about? We're going to have to go hoard some more toilet paper?
Mm-hmm.
Written testimony. When I say written letter, written testimony. You guys should really check it out. It's awesome.
This cat keeps hurting me.
Yes.
I have a paw that is ingrained in my thigh right now. And he won't let it out.
Wouldn't that be nice if that was a woman's thigh?
Yes, oh, God. Don't get me started. I'm on vacation.
Yeah. Vacation from what?
Oh, we're on spring break. Got nowhere to go. Nothing to do. What was that fourth movie? It was right after Goldfinger, the movie right after Goldfinger. I can't remember what it was. It had Largo and all those other guys, but it Never Say Never is a remake of that one because the producer in that, Kevin McClure, won the rights and stuff. It was a real big mess, and that's why they remade it. So.
All right, and Cindy says it's supposed to rain where you're at. Snow for me. Yeah, it's been raining for like a week now, so yes, it's supposed to rain some more. It's cold here.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you guys, I don't see any more comments, and so we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
And again, please check out that 73% Joe Biden cast that we put out because we're talking the real on that one. We gave this guy all those votes, and he has no agenda for black people. And this is what we've been talking about.
No agenda. Just,
Thunderball.
Just really just do your research or whatever. And anyway, I also say to you guys, too, for a lot of you guys who know older people, and maybe they don't have anybody, please check on the older people.
Yeah,
our older people, go check on them, call them, hey, are you okay? I know you're supposed to be staying in the house, but do you need anything? Just make sure they're okay. Because a lot of times, and I'm thinking about my father especially, because my father, 76, lives on his own, and he, believes he's Superman. Still, to me, he's Superman.
Of course.
But he thinks he's Superman, and, age has caught up to him a little bit. And so of course they're gonna say, I'm fine. I got all the
Yeah, no, just go and take a look.
bean soup I can eat. You know, I'm
Bean
good.
pies.
Yeah, all of that. You know, I'm good. You got all my whiting fish, and you know, I'm good. But you know, just make sure you do a good job of reinforcing the point. I just want to make sure you're okay because I know we are in, you know, some trying times here, and I got your back. And do that for anybody who you know may need something, somebody who is not as fortunate as you are.
You know, I'm gonna give you guys a quick hint too.
Sure.
If you got loved ones out there, especially older loved ones, I'm talking about the older loved ones that you have, take their phone when you go visit them next time and put the sharing location on.
Or I was about to say, and put yourself as a contact and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
contact number there,
yeah.
but you know, you could go to Google Maps. Every phone has it. Put on sharing locations, and that way you can kind of see where they're at. And,
Right.
and it's kind of important too because
What if
they-
you're my dad? He doesn't. Oh, I forgot to charge my phone.
Well, yeah,
I've been watching westerns and you know.
Right.
And Cindy, you say Donovan going to Muscle Beach or Tijuana.
No.
You're going there to couple of the Muscle Beach. If you go to Muscle Beach, well, we ain't gonna lift no ways with you because it might got some coronavirus on it.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll come out there. That's Venice Beach.
Yeah. If you come out there,
Sure enough. I love me some Venice Beach. Alice says Thunderball was the fourth Bond movie.
Yeah.
Tom Jones hung that long note at the end. Can
Yep.
y'all do it?
Thunderball. I can't do it. He always. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of that song, I mean,
Yeah.
he was me tooing.
That's what Deanna said.
Yeah.
What's up with these lyrics?
Yeah. He goes, you know,
Yeah.
some want more and I take away. You know, he was just dogging it out. I'm like, damn. You know?
I can't stand you.
That was the movie, though. That was a good movie. Thunderball. That was excellent.
Hey, Marcus says, should we be investing in pharmaceuticals? If so, which ones? The pharmaceutical companies, from what I've seen, that stock is pretty high still.
Still.
They haven't really dropped a whole lot
And,
yet.
Joe Biden put out, like, his healthcare system, which he doesn't want to change. He's for the status quo. When he said that, the pharmaceutical stock went up, meaning he's not going to change the status quo at all.
Right. So yeah, it's pretty expensive still.
Yeah. So.
But what is it? Merrick.
Merrick.
All
All the ones you see on TV. All of those ones are really good.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but they're pretty expensive still.
Yeah.
And John Ellie said Diamonds Are Forever.
Diamonds Are Forever. That was Sean Connery's last appearance as Bond in the official franchise.
Okay.
And he only came back after saying he would never come back.
Right.
When they gave him a bunch of money that he donated to the IRA.
Okay. And Eric said Biden is a terrible candidate, and God, I hope he doesn't win. He's
not going to win.
He won't win the presidency.
Yeah.
He might win the nomination for the Democrats, but he's not going to beat Trump. We'll be stuck with another 4 years of Trump.
You're basically putting up another Hillary Clinton, an established candidate. If you couldn't win with Hillary Clinton, how are you going to win with this guy?
And unfortunately, I'm not no shade to Joe Biden. I don't think he's well.
Yeah.
I think, it's definitely something going on. And you also say Jonelle Thunderball, and you say you only live twice. And then Alia says You Only Live Twice was filmed in Japan.
Filmed in Japan, and that was the death of James Bond, and he came back as a Japanese guy, and that's when you first saw the leader of the opposition, Spectre.
Got it.
When you first saw him.
And
that was Donald Pleasance.
Oh, Dr. Loomis!
Dr. Loomis. He was in the James Bond franchise.
I'm changing my name to Dr. Loomis, you guys. I keep saying I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So when you guys see that Dr. Loomis has gone live, that's me. I'm changing my name to Dr. Loomis.
Because you knew what evil was. He knew.
And I say I know,
The shadow.
but I ain't going to say that word because we got in trouble for saying that the other day. So, and Dr. Loomis knew Michael Myers. Like he was, Dr. Loomis.
We gotta go back. He's in town right now. We have to go back. Trust me, Sheriff. I know what I'm talking about. He's evil. God, evil. So it's like, come on. Didn't I? For 10 years I watched that child. For 10 years. Trust me. That's cold black eyes, nothing. She's known down. I'm telling you. Somebody give me a job with a voiceover.
Donovan has missed his calling.
We gotta go out. Remember he pulled out the gun? The guy, he switched the car around and ran away.
Wait, I have to look and see if it was Dr. Loomis. Didn't he get blown up with some shit?
Yeah, they brought him back.
I'm sorry.
No, we have to. That was a determined doctor to put away his patient. Donald wasn't the man was awesome. Awesome actor.
Okay.
Awesome actor. I gotta do some voice everywhere.
You ain't lying. I'm sorry, y'all. That Donovan is crazy.
Oh man.
And Joe Nelson's Trump guy in on lock. He's looking like Blues Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a mission from God.
Exactly.
And Al says, put some respect, world on their name.
Yes, sir.
Sir Sean Connery and Sir Roger Moore.
That's right. That's right.
All right, we're going to get out of here before we die laughing. Me and Dr. Loomis is going to leave here now. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much, Marcus, for everything you're doing. Thank you, Donovan, for your everything you're doing and your impersonations.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you guys, you two, for staying
She's crying.
staying here as long as you have. So we will be back on Friday. One of us will probably be back during the week to kind of, say something.
Yeah,
as stuff goes on. So anyway, you guys do have a great day. And Al says Donald Pleasant was in two Bond movies. Okay.
Which was the second one?
What was the second one?
I thought he was only just in that one.
Right.
Telly Savalas was in the next one.
Okay. You got
On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
You got some impersonations, Brian.
Or Telly Savalas. Who loves you, baby? That wasn't Bond, though. Who loves you, baby? When you're getting the American Express card. Just coolness.
And says I got tagged by a friend and enjoyed this.
Yeah,
we're so happy.
Welcome to the show. Please come back.
We ain't got no sense.
Go to Demetra's YouTube channel.
Yes,
you're going to see a whole bunch of tomfoolery over there.
And Donovan's Donovan Sadiq. And Donna says Demetra is crying. Someone passed the tissue. He's stupid. He's stupid.
I know she loves Dr. Loomis.
I'm a Halloween fan because I love Michael Myers movies. They don't even scare me. I laugh at them now. So anyway, and I got a Michael Myers t-shirt and all of that.
Right.
Anyway, we'll be back, you guys, on Friday at the very least. So you guys please have a great day and stay coronavirus free. All right?
See you guys.
Peace.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
What do we do?
He's been here once tonight. I think he'll come back. I'm gonna wait for him.
I still think I should notify the radio and television.
No. If you do that, they'll see him in every street corner. They'll look for him in every house. Just tell your men to keep their mouths shut and their eyes open.
I'll check back in an hour.